This is the only reason we still have 90% constitutional silver to collect and stack. When you are watching one of my videos, right here is a link to my channel if you don't know that. You come over
These
here
are
and you can hit community, you can hit videos, you can hit shorts. But if you come over here to the videos, you got a little search thing and you can search for different videos because I have 1,200 videos. This PCGS article highlights the reason why we still have 90% silver to collect, the constitutional. And I'm talking about the 90% dimes, mercuries, and half dollars. I've said it before, 1980, 79, when I was a kid. I was 19 years old, 11 years old. I can remember people waiting in line. Dad would set up in the weekends, and they would to sell their silver to Dad. And every weekend, we would take it up to the dealer in Westerville, Allen's Coin Shop. And he sold to Silvertown. And we used to go to the flea market up there. The big deal at the time was going to Washington Courthouse. And they had a huge flea market up there with, coins buying and selling. I mean, we're talking millions. Bags and bags of $1,000 bags and garbage cans full. We handled ourselves. Tens of thousands of dollars we handled ourselves, probably hundreds of thousands total. And there were some dealers that were handling millions. So one of the things that strikes me in this article here that I like, it says, normally the value of a coin is based on how many were made, which key dates, everybody knows low mintage coins typically are worth more, typically. It said in years to come, however, the value of silver United States coins may be hinged to a greater extent on how many were lost. Millions have been melted for the recapture of their metal, and the impact on coin collecting, while still not fully gauged, is likely to be great as time goes by. Right now, we are seeing the impact. I've said it before in my videos. The reason the demand's up so high and silver seems to be so scarce, or at least, short supply, which it's really not to a lot of people, but it really is too, because is there enough to go around if everybody wanted it? No, not anymore. Right here. This was January 1st of 2001. And like I said, I go down through the article and we're talking about people who were in this business. Like I said, Silvertown's mentioned Hendrickson. He calculated that during 1979 and 1980, Silvertown alone processed thousands of bags of silver coins. And he pointed out, however, that while the period marked the peak of the great silver melts, it was really the culmination of a process that had started more than a decade earlier, for silver coins have been melted and later more openly since the 1960s. And they were pulled from change. He said there was a lot of things going on here during this time. When silver was no longer being put in the coinage, not using an alloy, and clad came along, people started pulling the silver out. So people couldn't go down to the bank and buy rolls and fill their collections up. And he said that's another thing. And then you have the late Joel Cohen of New York. He coined dealer who played a central role in the great silver melts. He totally agreed with Hendrickson. He said in a 1985 interview, he shared his concerns with me. He said the melts hurt the hobby. He said that the real damage was done 20 years ago when the Clyde coins came along. It's like you said, it's destroyed the present generation of collectors, but the future generations as well. That's the reason why so many people are interested in the finding stuff interchange. That's part of this hobby, and it's always been a part of this hobby. So the silver collectors, the people who went to the banks and got the rolls to fill their collections, now are replaced with people who are looking to find that mint error. And there's a drive there that drives this hobby. And as much as it might annoy dealers, as much as it might annoy certain people in the groups, that's part of this hobby. That is the foundation of this hobby, is people trying to find things in their change for free and to make money on them. It's been a foundation of the hobby from the beginning. That's how you got coins. Before dealers were prevalent, before you had all these online sites to buy and sell, and eBay and iOffer and all these apps. That's how you got coins. You didn't always have the option to go down to a dealer. Not everything had a premium on it. That's why they were melting these coins when it jumped up to $50 an ounce in 1980. Because you could get more out of a coin, like basically a Franklin half, you get $35 out of it. You couldn't get that out of it before that. So why wouldn't you melt it? So, they were doing business. But it's like he said here, he remembers melting 100 bags of 1963 Franklin half. The most they would bring was $6 a piece, and he was, getting $13 or $14 each as dead items. So businesses were doing this, even though they kind of regretted it later. It still was something that we're doing. And he said, another thing he says is that 75% of cold dollars were melted. They were saved more because people still kind of collected them. They hadn't seen them in circulation for a while. That's another thing this article points out. So silver dollars were kind of saved, but that's a huge amount. But when you scroll down to find the reason why we still have 90%, and you read through this article, which I'm going to have the link so you guys can read it. It's very interesting. But there were literally BU rolls of like 36S Worston quarters. If you don't know that coin is a very rare coin right now in BU, and you kind of missed out on some information because it is. You need to get your red book. You need to check some price guides because some of these coins that were melted could have been key dates. There could have been, they didn't have time to look through them all. You can't look through thousands of bags of 90% to make sure there's no 1916 D Mercadimes, or if there's BU rolls of certain coin dates. They tried, sometimes they did, but yet they were working from 6 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. at night. I mean, it was constant. Carr, now he mentions, and Carr actually was working for the Crystal Coin Shop. He's been a long-time dealer in Wakefield, Massachusetts, and they did a lot of over-counter business and a lot of coin buying. We're talking a lot of bags of silver that they went through. He thinks that when silver hit $50 an ounce, and he says it here, and we're quoting, that 98% of silver coins in existence were committed to the smelting houses. Think about that, 98%. If the price had been maintained, most everything would have been lost. Think about that. This is the fortunate thing. This is the reason we still have 90%. Fortunately, he added, the refineries had a 2 to 3 month backlog, and as silver dropped in value, they withdrew a lot of the coins. Even so, it is scary just thinking of what might have happened. I mean, literally because there was a backlog. Think about this. They had up to a 3-month backlog trying to melt all these coins. And because it started dropping, they withdrew those meltings, which saved our 90% constitutional silver and possibly even our silver dollars in the future. That is phenomenal information. That is scary information. But it's also positive information. It kind of helps save the hobby a little bit because it saved the part of the hobby that is very integral to the hobby right now, and that's the bullion. A lot of the silver bullion you have today is from coins being melted. And like I said, I did a video yesterday about how I almost lost faith in precious metals. And, you know, the thing of it is it's so true that coins will go to the melting pot, and they have since the 60s. They've been melted. I mean, it's happening now even, or at least still yet, people are taking coins to refiner even with some of these premiums. It's a fact today. The refiners are still in business, and they have to have silver, and they have to have gold. So anyways, hopefully this inspired you a little bit, maybe taught you something you didn't know. I'll have the article in the description and in a pinned comment so that you guys can all read this. It's a very good article. Thanks for watching my latest video, and hit that bell and sub my channel, and have a great day.